Carrots. Night blindness is usually the first sign something is missing. The visual system needs a specific compound to function in low light, and most people aren't getting enough of it. Carrots deliver it. Beta-carotene, a pigment in the flesh, converts into vitamin A inside your body. Vitamin A is what your eyes need to function in low light. That pigment is also what makes them orange. There's a catch. Beta-carotene is fat-soluble. Eating carrots with olive oil, butter, or anything fatty significantly increases absorption. Raw carrots with nothing else, and most of it passes through unused. Skin uses vitamin A too, regulating cell turnover at the surface level. Modern acne treatments are derived from it. Carrots aren't Accutane, but your skin is using the same raw material. Spinach. Nobody eats spinach because they want to. Popeye did, and he was jacked. So maybe there's something to it. It's one of the most concentrated plant sources of iron, and iron is what your red blood cells use to carry oxygen. Without enough iron, red blood cells carry less oxygen, and less oxygen means your muscles, brain, and organs all operate below capacity. Energy drops, thinking slows, recovery lags. This often gets blamed on being out of shape or not sleeping enough. Sometimes it's neither. Spinach also contains vitamin C, which doubles iron absorption when eaten together. The plant solved its own bioavailability problem before nutrition science existed. Raw spinach holds more vitamin C, better for absorption. Cooked spinach loses some of that, but the iron becomes easier to access. What you're optimizing for changes how you prepare it. Turns out Popeye was onto something. Broccoli. Your liver is processing everything. Every medication, every toxin, every hormone your body no longer needs. When it falls behind, the backlog shows up as inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the underlying condition behind most major diseases. The liver doesn't announce when it's struggling. It just slows down. Broccoli activates it. The moment you chew it, two compounds inside the plant combine and produce something your liver uses to switch on its own detox enzymes. Waste clears faster. The backlog shrinks. Inflammation drops downstream. That compound is sulforaphane, and no other common vegetable produces it the same way. Most vegetables support the liver passively. Broccoli triggers a chemical response inside it. Raw has the most sulforaphane. Lightly steamed keeps most of it. Boiled into oblivion helps nobody. Sweet potato. Tastes like dessert, behaves like medicine, which is a bit of a cheat code. Sweet potatoes are loaded with beta-carotene, even more than carrots. Same conversion process, same vitamin A payoff. But what separates sweet potatoes is what they do for your blood sugar. Despite tasting sweet, they have a lower glycemic index than regular potatoes. The fiber slows digestion, which slows glucose release. Your blood sugar rises gradually instead of spiking. Blood sugar spikes drive insulin resistance over time. Insulin resistance drives type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and energy crashes. Sweet potatoes don't reverse that, but they don't make it worse either. That's rarer than it sounds. They also deliver potassium, which your heart uses to regulate its rhythm, and vitamin B6, which your brain uses to produce serotonin and dopamine. Tomatoes. Technically a fruit, legally a vegetable. Nutritionally, one of the best things you can do for your heart. Your arteries take daily damage from metabolism, stress, and processed food. That damage accumulates. The cardiovascular system keeps the score. Tomatoes interrupt that process. A pigment in the flesh binds to free radicals before they reach arterial tissue, and it doesn't just pass through. It settles into arterial walls, skin, and prostate tissue specifically. That pigment is lycopene, one of the most studied compounds in cardiovascular research with consistent findings across multiple studies. Cooking increases lycopene availability significantly. Heat breaks down cell walls and releases more of it. A raw tomato is good. Tomato paste is doing considerably more work. Your cardiovascular system is running a long game. Lycopene is one of the few dietary compounds consistently shown to protect it. Bell peppers. A bell pepper is just a chili that never became spicy. Same plant, different colors, and the color tells you exactly how much nutrition you're getting. Bell peppers target your immune system and connective tissue, driven by one of the highest vitamin C concentrations you can get from food, more per serving than oranges. Oranges just have better marketing. Green peppers are harvested early, slightly bitter, and the lowest in vitamins. Leave that same pepper on the plant and it turns yellow, then red. Each stage increases sugar content and vitamin concentration. A red bell pepper has nearly 3 times the vitamin C of a green one. Your body uses vitamin C to produce collagen, the structural protein holding skin, joints, and blood vessels together. Without enough of it, those systems degrade faster than they should. Collagen isn't cosmetic, it's structural. A secondary effect shows up in your eyes. Red bell peppers carry capsanthin, an antioxidant that accumulates in your retinas and helps protect them from light damage. Color isn't cosmetic, it's information. Garlic. Crush a garlic clove and you trigger a chemical reaction that didn't exist seconds ago, and your body treats it like a weapon. That reaction creates allicin. It's what gives garlic its sharp smell and most of its biological activity. Allicin has documented antimicrobial properties. It damages bacteria and fungi at the cellular level. Your immune system doesn't have to work as hard when allicin is already doing damage. But the cardiovascular system is where garlic gets serious. Regular consumption has been linked to modest reductions in blood pressure and LDL cholesterol. Not dramatic, but consistent across multiple studies. Your arteries are running a decades-long operation. Small, consistent inputs matter more than people expect. Raw garlic delivers the most allicin. Cooking reduces it, but slow-roasted garlic, mild, sweet, spreadable, still carries compounds that support circulation and reduce inflammation. 5,000 years of medicinal use across every major civilization. The science eventually showed up and confirmed most of it. Beets. It looks dramatic, tastes like dirt, and can turn your urine pink. But what it's doing inside your body is a lot more interesting. Beets are high in nitrates. Not the synthetic kind found in processed meat, but from whole food. Your body converts them into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide relaxes and widens blood vessels. Wider vessels mean lower blood pressure and better blood flow, including to your brain and muscles. That's why athletes started drinking beet juice before competition. More blood flow means more oxygen delivery to working muscles. That same increase in blood flow reaches your brain. When circulation improves, cognitive performance follows. Focus, reaction time, mental clarity. Beets aren't a stimulant. The mechanism is slower and more structural than that. The pink urine is harmless. It's called bacteria, and it happens to about 10 to 15% of people. Your kidneys are fine. The dirt taste, though. That's geosmin, a compound produced by soil bacteria absorbed through the roots. You're literally tasting the earth. Mushrooms. These aren't plants. They're actually closer to animals than vegetables, which explains why your body treats them like something special. The immune system is where mushrooms do their most documented work. Beta-glucans, compounds found almost exclusively in fungi, bind directly to receptors on your immune cells. This doesn't stimulate the system, it trains it. Your immune cells become more precise, faster to identify threats, less likely to overreact. Most foods feed your immune system. Mushrooms communicate with it. Shiitake and reishi show the most consistent immune-modulating effects. Different varieties lean into different mechanisms, but the core outcome stays the same. A more precise, better regulated immune response. Then there's vitamin D. Mushrooms exposed to UV light produce it, the only non-animal food source that does. Your immune system cannot function properly without it. One kingdom, completely different rules. Peas, small, green, and wildly underestimated. Peas have more plant protein per serving than most vegetables, twice their size. Most people stopped eating them at age 7. Muscle growth and repair depend on a specific trigger, not just total protein. Your body needs a signal to start building, and that signal comes from certain amino acids. Peas provide it. They're one of the few plant sources that deliver meaningful leucine, the amino acid that initiates muscle protein synthesis. Without enough of it, the process doesn't fully activate. Most vegetables don't contribute here. Peas do. Celery. 95% water, and people have been dismissing it as a diet food for decades, which means most people have completely missed what it actually does. Blood pressure creeps up. Your heart works harder to push through vessels that won't fully relax. Most people blame salt, stress, or genetics. Sometimes the arterial walls just need a specific signal to let go. Celery delivers that signal, a compound in the stalk that tells your arterial walls to loosen up. They expand. Resistance drops. Blood pressure comes down. That compound is phthalate. Traditional Chinese medicine used celery specifically for hypertension for centuries. The research eventually caught up and confirmed the mechanism. The sodium in celery is natural and paired with potassium, the ratio that keeps fluid balanced rather than driving pressure up. Fiber feeds gut bacteria regulating inflammation downstream. Boring vegetable. Surprisingly specific chemistry. Asparagus. Ancient Romans dedicated a whole fleet of ships to moving asparagus across the empire. It still makes your urine smell weird within minutes. That's your body processing something genuinely useful. Asparagus works directly on your kidneys. Asparagine, an amino acid named after the plant itself, stimulates kidney filtration and increases urine output. Your kidneys are constantly pulling waste and excess fluid from your blood. Asparagus accelerates that process. The urine smell is a byproduct. Asparagic acid breaks down into sulfur compounds your kidneys excrete rapidly, within 15 to 30 minutes. Not everyone can detect it, but almost everyone produces it. Folate supports cell division and DNA repair. Vitamin K supports bone density. Chromium helps insulin regulate blood sugar. Seaweed. It grows in the ocean and is basically the ocean's version of a multivitamin, and your thyroid runs almost entirely on what it's delivering. The thyroid is the system seaweed was made for. It needs iodine to produce T3 and T4, the hormones that regulate metabolism, body temperature, heart rate, and energy production. Iodine is almost completely absent from land-grown food. Seaweed is one of the few dietary sources concentrated enough to matter. Without enough iodine, hormone production slows. Metabolism slows with it. Energy, mood, weight regulation, brain function, all of it runs downstream from thyroid output. 1 gram of dried seaweed can contain more iodine than you need in an entire day. Magnesium, calcium, and iron follow. Fucoidins, compounds unique to seaweed, are being studied for immune modulation and inflammation. The ocean figured out mineral density before agriculture did. Food isn't decoration. Every bite is doing something inside your body. Now that you know what to look for, keep it going and check out the next video.